You think you had a bad day? Maybe think again. Tyler Perry's new film, Straw, is a psychological crime drama starring Taraji P. Henson as Janiyah, a struggling single mother working two jobs whose day spirals into chaos, leading her to become the prime suspect in a crime she did not commit. In under 20 minutes, the film manages to piss you off, gets you emotional, and has you talking to yourself like, now what the fuck? We follow Janiyah throughout her day. She wakes up in her very hot, unair conditioned apartment with her daughter, Aria. As she's getting her ready for school, there's some important details. While she's giving Aria her bath, we discover she doesn't want Aria to bathe herself because the last time she did, she fell in the tub and hurt herself because of how sick she is. She's been working on a school science project, and her teacher called her out in front of the whole class because she didn't have $40 to pay for her school lunch. When they leave the house for the day, Aria wanted to take her clear backpack to school, but took her black one instead because her mom was in a hurry. We're going to be referring back to all of that, the backpack, the school lunch, the science project, all of it, a little later. While they're walking to the car, Janiyah gives change to this neighborhood bum. Then there go her landlord. Oh, you can give him money, but you can't pay me my rent? I filed the eviction notice. Janiyah tells her she gets paid today and she'll bring her the money at 10 a.m. She drives Aria to school and tells her she's going to bring the $40 today on her break. Lets her out the car and waves at the principal. Now, I was wondering why the principal was looking at her so crazy. My first thought was it's because she's not walking in there with that $40, but later we find out why. She gets to work and it's customers all up in the store, line almost out the door. I'm like, dang, what's going on? Is it a holiday or what? Turns out it's only the first of the month. On top of that, her boss be talking to her crazy, and her first brokey of a customer gives her a hard time and throws a glass bottle at her feet. And here come the manager. Clean this up. Line getting long. What? How about you get your bald headed ass on the register then? She gets a call from her daughter's school asking about the $40. While they're on the phone, they're asking her about her bruise on her back, and she explains to them she fell in the tub. So they tell her she has to come down to the school. She starts begging to her bald headed boss to let her go to her daughter's school, and he's, of course, giving her a hard time, but he eventually lets her go but tells her she can only be gone for 30 minutes. Now, who can be gone for 30 minutes going to somebody's school? But before she leaves, she asked him if she can get her check. He said, have you lost your mind, girl? I gotta do your job, tend to your register, and you want me to do you a favor? He better squabble up then, the way it would have been a fight going on back there in the back. Cause just who you have you lost your mind? And the way she just took it, she didn't do nothing is wild. She goes to the bank that's in the same parking lot as her job and tries to take out $40 of her $47 that's already in the bank. But she can't take it out because if you have less than the minimum required, it'll close the account. So, in order for her to get her $40, she has to close the account. But the line is long. And they looking at her like, girl, I know you don't think you about to cut me. Time is ticking. Tick tock. She probably got about 25 more minutes to get back to work. She finally makes it to her daughter's school, and when she gets there, social services is taking her daughter away, dragging her down the hallway. Janiyah begging them, please don't take my daughter. She needs me. She has seizures. She has asthma really bad. She's yelling down the hallway, Araya, stop yelling, because it'll trigger her asthma. I'm like, what? I'm stressed out. And at this point, this is all under 20 minutes. Turns out the teacher and the principal is telling everybody that Aria comes to school dirty and hungry. And plus, she now has that bruise on her back. But everything is just misconstrued. She explains that sometimes she can't have hot water, but she makes sure she gives Arya a bath. And plus, Arya just can't be eating up everything. The doctor put her under a strict food restriction. Now she's driving back to work, and at this point, you already know she's late. It's been way longer than 30 minutes. It's pouring down rain. Traffic backed up bumper to bumper. There's a lane with less traffic, so Janiyah switches lanes. Then here comes a car flying like a bat out of hell. They don't crash, the other car just spins out. The other driver gets road rage, throws a drink at her window, and cusses her out. And says she's gonna wish she never left the house. Starts chasing her down the street, makes her spin out, and now her car won't start, stuck in the middle of the street in the rain. Turns out the guy who hit her was a cop. He gets out the car with the other police, starts threatening her and telling her if he ever sees her again, he's going to find a legal way to blow her brains out. The female cop makes him go back to the car because he done lost his mind. But she lost her mind too, because I know you saw what he did. She asked Janiyah for her license and registration, and it's expired. So the cop takes her license and impounds her car. When she gets back to work, her boss is like, "Look at you, dripping all over the floor. Duh, it's wet outside and my car just got impounded. The fuck? You've been gone 2 hours. You're fired." She asked him again for her check, and he goes, "When you get fired, your check is in the mail." Okay, so you want these hands. I don't understand why she be letting him talk to her like that. The way I would have acted a whole fool up in there. God, Jesus, his mama, the sheep, the lambs, the angels, all would have had to come down and pull me off of him. But she just walked out the door. When she gets home, all her stuff is outside on the ground getting wet. Got evicted. Landlord talking about, "You think I'm a fool? You said you'd be back here at 10 o'clock." Her daughter's science project she spent her last coins on is outside in the rain getting ruined. Her daughter's medicine is just thrown out in the yard. She don't got no job. She don't got no car. She don't got no house. And she wet, so she probably gonna get sick. So she decides to go back to her job and ask for her check again. First of all, I never would have left in the first place without my check. And she did all this in the rain, the pouring down rain. Then here go the boss, Richard, I think that's his bald-headed name, yelling again. "What part of it's in the mail don't you understand?" Then here she goes trying to explain why she need her check to him. Girl, please. He talking about, how is that my problem? The way I would have torn that place up? So now, to top it off, these two men come up in there to rob the place. Janiyah starts screaming, "No! I need this money for my daughter!" Janiyah is somehow able to take the gun away and shoots one of the robbers dead. Her boss thinks she set this up because the robber said her name, but all he did was read off her name badge. So now he yelling again, "You did this, you're going to jail. See what kind of parent you gonna be from jail." Then pow, she shoots her boss dead. Out of all the stress and anxiety that's just happened, she snapped. And that's just what he get. Fool. She leaves all the money that they were going to take and just takes her check and goes to the bank. It's closed, but the manager lets her in because she recognizes her. She's a regular. While that's happening, the police is at her job and goes to her house to investigate. Tessa, one of the bank tellers, tells her she cannot cash her check since she doesn't have her ID. Janiyah tells her her ID was stolen because the police took it because it was expired. Janiyah gets frustrated because she won't cash her check and without thinking, sits the gun from the robbery on the counter while saying, "Cash my check, you know me. What's wrong with you? Cash my check." They automatically think she's robbing the bank. A silent alarm goes off, and now the police is on the phone with the manager. She describes Janiyah to them and tells them that she's always in there. Now back to the backpack. After getting evicted, she's carrying her daughter's clear backpack, the one she originally wanted to take to school. She put a few things in the backpack, like her daughter's medicine and her science projects. That looks like a bomb. So the manager, thinking it's a real bomb, she tells the police Janiyah has a bomb, escalating the whole thing even more. And since the bank tellers think she's robbing them, they start giving her all the money. But Janiyah is like, "No, I just want my money. My check is $521. Just give me that." But since everyone is in a panic, they're not listening or understanding. And Janiyah's mind is so far gone and stressed out, she doesn't realize that they're thinking she's robbing the bank. She just wants her money so she can give her daughter her lunch money and pay her rent. She's so confused on why everyone is so afraid of her and why they just won't give her $521. There's this whole back and forth about, "I just want my money. Tessa, you know me, give me my money. I don't want any extra money. I just want my money." There's hostages. Everything just keeps on escalating. The police has now surrounded the bank. It's a whole mess. She never intended for there to be hostages, and she never intended on this. At one point, the gun goes off because a hostage tried to tackle her down. They run out the door. Now the police want to know what's going on in there. She's on the news and wanted for an earlier murder that happened that day at her job. Janiyah feels like the bank set her up, but luckily, on the brighter side, if there is a brighter side, Detective Raymond has sympathy and can relate to her. Being a single mom herself, and when she was a kid, her and her mom were also evicted. Detective Raymond and Janiyah start to gain some trust throughout this whole process. Janiyah tells Detective Raymond she's not coming out until the cop who said he would kill her if he saw her again leaves. She's scared, she doesn't want to walk out, and he shoots her. So they're trying to figure out who this cop is. It takes them a while, but they do eventually find him with help from the female cop that was there with him earlier. Detective Raymond slapped him right in the face because he a dumb fool and tells him that this is all his fault. One of the bank tellers secretly goes live during this whole hostage situation, and now the whole world can hear how Janiyah's horrible day went. She explains to everyone in the bank everything that happened to her that day, which makes her gain sympathy and support from across the world. People even came out to the bank to support her. Now, Tessa, the bank teller, been ready to go and been trying to escape. She's been secretly writing messages to the police in the bathroom window. After finding out it's not a real bomb, she lets the police know. But since the FBI has taken over, that's a bad call. They're more aggressive, and that just lets them know that they can barge in anytime they want and maybe even kill her, since it's not really a real bomb. Bank manager Nicole starts to bond with Janiyah during this whole ordeal, and when asked if she would take care of Aria when she goes to jail so she won't have to go to foster care, she tells her, yeah, she'll take her in, and even take her to visit her while she's in jail. But it's the moment Janiyah gets a phone call from her mom that's really heartbreaking and I never saw coming. Her mom reminds her that Aria died last night from a seizure. I said, what, dead? So everything that we've seen from Janiyah and Aria talking, the bath scene, her taking her to school, no wonder why the principal was looking at her crazy. Wasn't nobody there. Her being taken away from child services was all a hallucination. Even the scene of her walking Aria out the hospital wasn't real. The grief fractured her mind so much that she created this illusion of Aria to keep functioning. Janiyah tells Nicole that her daughter died last night, and Nicole tells her, I know, they told me earlier. So she was just over here playing in her face, telling her, yeah, I'm gonna take your daughter in, knowing she dead. But I know she didn't tell her because she knew she was already going through it. She didn't want to kick her while she was already down. For a second, they tricked us and had us thinking the FBI went busting through the door and shot Janiyah down dead. But that was all in Janiyah's mind. That was her fear playing out in her head. But thankfully, Janiyah was able to walk out safely. Nicole walked out with her, hand in hand, and she turned herself in. Finally, after that long ass day. We don't know how much time she got, but I'm pretty sure it's a long time. Personally, I did enjoy this film. Taraji P. Henson always does a great job. She was phenomenal. Acting always top tier. Her co-stars, on the other hand, is a different story. No shade, all tea. It kept my attention and it kept me stressed out. I say give it a try. It's one of Tyler Perry's better films because sometimes he be wilding out. But let me know what you think. Leave your thoughts down in the comments so we can talk about it. If you haven't already and want to see more videos like this, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next one.